scintillating Christmas celebration and a prosperous New Year 2025.
From all of us, we just want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2025.
This is to wish you Merry Christmas. Una do well for standing by us all this time.
In a significant development, here is a more prosperous New Year, filled with happiness and
with
love.
a wish and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for always watching our Wonge station.
A kú ọdún Kérésìmesì, a kí yín fún ọdún, a yóò máa ṣọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé.
Hi, I am Chukwuma Okoro. This is wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Anyị ekele unu n'ihi na unu soro anyị bido mgbe this year bido till now.
Season greetings from all of us at Voice of the People TV.
Season's greetings from all of us at VOP TV.
The Yuletide is a season of love, a season of hope, a season of blessings. May the divine light of Christmas shine in your life this season. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all of us at Voice of the People Television. Thank you for sticking with us.
Good morning and welcome to VOP This Morning, right here on Voice of the People Television. I am Moses Humphrey. Now, over the next 2 hours, we'll be touching on a few issues. One of them is a statement between Wike and Odili. Wike has said to Odili, elder statesmen should not be sycophants. Well, we'll be looking at that and a few other issues as well. And don't forget, we'll also be touching on some issues that are not exactly on the plate for today, but are issues that Nigerians are talking about. So don't forget, come along with us as we dive into all of these issues. I am Moses Humphrey.
And I am Chukwuma Okoro. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Anyway, I thought that the tension in River State had thawed, but again, we now see Wike and Odili at each other's jugular. Anyway, away from that, let's enter into another jugular between an elder statesman and a junior statesman now. Now, Farotimi declares readiness for legal battle with Babalola. Dele made a tweet yesterday on his X handle, and he was quite emotional, where he expressed, some form of thanksgiving, he had to appreciate Nigerians for standing behind him in the battle. And he declared, I am ready to confront powers and principalities. Oh well, that's one of the topics that we are going to talk about today again. Fina?
All right, good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. I'm Fina Okechukwu, and those like Moses and Chukwuma rightly say are the topic of conversation this beautiful Monday morning. But before we go into today's issue, please, I'd like you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the Voice of the People TV, that's well spelled out, Voice of the People TV. And on all other social media platforms, like X.com, the Facebook, the TikTok, we are at VOP TV Live. You can also visit our website for fresh and trending news stories. That's at www.vop.ng. And for your active participation through the course of the program, we'd like you to, call the phone numbers you have scrolling on your screen this morning for you to be part of the show. You can also, do well to send us a 1-minute video of yourself reacting to any of the topic, according to how you feel you want to do it, but just try to do it in a civil way. And talking about the stories that, made it also to our table this morning, though not a major topic of conversation, former Senator Shehu Sani has criticized ex-Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai over his remarks on alleged nepotism in President Bola Tinubu's administration, accusing him of double standard. Sani claimed that El-Rufai remained silent during similar accusation against former President President Buhari, but now speaks out because the current situation does not benefit him. He further alleged that El-Rufai's administration marginalized southern Kaduna residents for 8 years. And, reacting to this, one also recalled that I think during the weekend, there was this article that was written by a professor saying something about how the present administration and the former administration have decided to, have a whole grip on NNPCL. Reacting to that, Bayo Ononuga, who happens to be the special advisor on information and strategy to President Bola Tinubu, criticized former Kaduna Governor El-Rufai for making a cheap shot at the president over allegations of regional favoritism in an NPCL appointment. Some people are saying that when Mele Kyari's tenure expires early next year, 2025, that there is also talks for a Yoruba man to be who they will call the group GMD of NNPCL. And, this particular statement or this allusion have also caused a lot of persons in Nigeria to react. The social media have been, buzzing since last week or during the weekend over the story. One asks, is that the first time we're seeing the issue of nepotism in Nigeria? It happened during the time of President Buhari. And now it's more like Chukuma will come on to rule out that all, economic hub of financial institutions, where the whole thing happens in Nigeria happens to fall into the hands of a Yoruba man. Are we really moving towards nepotism, against democracy, which we preach as a nation? Those are the question in minds of major Nigerians or many Nigerians. Chukuma, you're giggling.
Okay, Fina, you've talked about two things now. The first one is between El-Rufai and his brother, Sheikh Husani. The second one is between Bayo Ononuga and who again? Barogi, Professor Farouk Barogi and all of that. It doesn't take a Chukuma to say it. It's in the public space. Everybody knows. You can Google it.
Yeah.
You can do a search. We have 39 or 40 institutions, critical institutions, in our national economy, commanding heights of our national life, occupied by people from the Southwest. That is what it is. If you like, you can live in self-denial. If you like, you can live in the truth. But it wasn't always like this until a certain Muhammad Buhari made on the scene and now modernized institutions of government in Nigeria by putting Northerners in all the strategic institutions. Now, people are defending what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done by saying, oh, he's not the first person to have done this. We had a President Buhari do the same thing. The fact that Buhari did it doesn't make it right.
So do you think it's going to be more like a norm now, Chukuma?
It won't be a norm because
it's more like Tinubu is doing his own.
It won't be a norm. It could be a norm for the APC.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we had a Westerner, Olusegun Obasanjo, who came and redistributed resources equally. There was peace in the land. Nobody complained. We had a Yar'Adua do the same thing, a Jonathan do the same thing. But until Buhari came and excluded the South, exclusively the Southeast. And now we see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing the same thing. And when I raised the issue somewhere, at a sit-down with a few colleagues, a Yoruba man pointed out to me that recently that the president appointed an Igbo woman as the head of a Nigerian agency. He couldn't tell the agency. And when I Googled it, I discovered that it was Acting Comptroller General of the Correctional Services. I said, okay, you want to put him there so that she'll go and take care of people, the Southeasterners that the Nigerian state has criminalized and all of that. You don't need to travel far. It is very obvious. It's palpable. You can feel it. It's not a Chukuma saying it. Google it. You'll find it. Customs, immigration, BPP, BPE, COS, Navy, Air Force, name all of them. Central Bank, Minister of Finance, FIRS, and all of that. About 40 of them critical. But the point is this. Does it mean that? There's no problem with that too. But in a multi-ethnic society like Nigeria, does it seem like it's only people from the Southwest that have knowledge or that are knowledge-based in those areas? Clearly not. And it doesn't speak to the national unity, the nationhood that we are trying to do.
Now, Moses, do you think this whole issue of nepotism is going to end anytime soon in Nigeria? Are we going to see another president who's been elected in 2027 wake up to say, during the time of Buhari, he did his own. During the time of Tinubu, he did his own. Now is my time. I have to do mine too. Is that where we're moving to with this whole issue of tribalism?
It depends. It depends on who sits there. If, like Chukuma rightly said, maybe if somebody from the APC continues, it might be the same thing. Okay. But nepotism, I think we shy away from the obvious here. We are largely nepotic in our day-to-day dealings. Let's face it. Nigerians. Now, at the federal level, yes, you criticize it because we have the federal character, all right? And we don't seem to be abiding by it. But largely, Nigerians are nepotic. Nigerians are tribalistic. Nigerians, you go to the marketplace and the person selling would want to relate with you based on a perception of where you're from. All right, so they start to speak in a dialect, hoping that you will respond, you understand the dialect. You know, it plays out. I said here one time how I went to a company when I was trying to switch from broadcasting to something else. And then I went to a company and I was told, okay, yes, your CV is good, you have, you know, everything, but I hope you're not an Igbo man. And I delayed in responding, and I asked why. I said, look, because in this organization, there is an unwritten rule that no Igbo person will be employed into any role for the next 10 years. I'm like, but why is that so? So because the person that was there before was an Igbo person, and the person employed largely Igbo people. All right? It cuts across every agency, every institution. A lot of people, especially those who, a lot of people would want to put their own person. There are organizations you go to and you realize that sensitive positions where money goes round, you have a lot of people from Kogi there. And that is because somebody from Kogi was at the helm of affairs at a certain time and put their own people in that position. So they would have, I mean, that's a money-making arm of that organization. And then you have a lot of Kogi people there.
Isn't it charity beginning at home?
No,
charity begins at home, you know.
Moses, okay, I think I will agree with you to an extent, you know, because Nigerians are nepotistic, but it has to do with the idiosyncratic variables of the individuals. I just mentioned Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, and Jonathan. They are all Nigerians too, and they were able to redistribute. I'm talking about the. Let's start from here now. At a point, the chief security officer of this organization was from Benue, and 80% of the security men were from Benue State.
Charity begins at home.
So charity begins at home.
That is it. Away from that, also PDP chieftain Adetokunbo Pers has called for the party to field.
Amazing observation. That was an amazing observation. Oh well, go ahead, Fina. Sorry to interrupt you.
We have a call from a PDP chieftain who is Adetokunbo for the party to field a southern presidential candidate for the 2027 elections. He emphasized that it aligns with national sentiment and strengthens the party's chances. He also advised against political mergers with other parties, urging the PDP to focus on reconciling with estranged members to ensure victory and avoid the internal division that led to their 2023 loss. Now, my question is, are we going to get to the south, or is it going to be a southeast thing? Because we could recall that during the 2023 elections, they said we are going to, let the tickets move over to the south. And then some people in the party say, no, let's be specific. If we're going to the south, it should be the southeast. And that was also what transpired when they did the voting of the party chairman, the national chairman, going to the northeast and all that. But I guess maybe their internal wrangling made it that it's not possible for it to be for a Southeasterners, and that also led to the walkaway of the likes of Peter Gregory Obi and some other party members. So will PDP come 2027 decide to be specific when they are thinking of pushing their ticket to Southeast, or is it going to just be a South? Because if it's the South thing, then that shows there'll be another problem. Chikuma.
Yes, there will be another problem, because the problem that is riddling the PDP now arose largely from what transpired during the ahead of the convention. The article's argument was, look, if it has to go to the south, it has to go to the southeast. If it doesn't go to the southeast, then I'm in. Now, we had a Wike who said, no, it should come to let's throw it open. Thinking that with his deep pockets, he will be able to get the ticket. But that didn't happen. And so, since after that, you have an article camp, you have a Wike camp. The national chairman, it seems to be on the Wike camp. Members of the NWC seem to be on Wike's camp. Members of the NEC seem to be on Wike's camp. And that is the problem that is at the heart of PDP crisis today. It's up to them to live beyond that. It's up to them to live above that. 2027 is clearly around the corner. So they are regrouping. But I find it difficult, for peers to say that, look, PDP should not merge with anybody. I mean, can PDP go the whole log alone? When you have people like P2B who has pulled out a large chunk of what used to be the PDP to the Labour Party. And he's trying to make a comeback. And we have a peer saying, no, you don't do that. How about Rabi Ukokwanso? How about Bukola Saraki? How about El-Rufai and all of that? I think the best thing that can happen, if the opposition parties want to wrest power from the APC, is to do what the APC did in 2014. When CPC, ACN, and the APP merged, coalesced to form the APC. That is the only way.
But don't you think that if they can come together to say, let's put a stop to all the wrangling we're having internally, the people that left the party might come back. We've seen it happen before where some people leave a particular political party and then they will still get back again to the party when they have resolved their issues. Now, don't think that when they resolve the issues and, those that left the party decide to make a comeback to the party, that they can form a formidable force, for the 2027 election. Exactly the point. If people come back, is Kwakwanso going to abandon NMPP? NMPP, yeah. That's another one. To come back to PDP and all of that. That is what is at the soul of the problem or the trouble in PDP today. Interesting.
Well, all this flying of kites, postulations, will just further empower the APC to remain in power. Basically, if you're saying, the things that you shouldn't come together, it should come to the south, the southeast, the southwest. These parties have a structure. They have their, what's the word now? The word just escaped my mind now. They have rules that they abide by. If only they can truly abide by those rules, I think they will pull a lot more effect in 2027. Well, 2027 is going to be tough. That's one thing I can say for sure. Alliances, if they don't start now and have sensible alliances, I don't think there will be any difference made to whoever sits at the helm of affairs in Nigeria. Because as it stands now, the APC, even though we have splinter groups in the APC, they still seem united. And then we have other parties, other major parties, the PDP, and now the Labour Party, divided, even within their own house. So they all need to come together. If there will be a coming together of maybe the Labour Party and the PDP and maybe NNPP to unseat APC, then go ahead and do it. But if you want to talk about this, it should be the southeast, the north should not. Nah, I think it would just further drive division. When I saw this post, there was on X.com, there was a comment right underneath, and the person was saying, "Why are you afraid of Atiku? Atiku is our man. He's the person that will contest in 2027. Why are you afraid of him being the president?" I'm like, if you go this way, you will have what you had in 2023. So just come together, and if you feel that the interest of the people comes first, then come together as political parties and wrest power from the APC. Plain and simple.
But if you ask me, I think it's high time political parties that we have in Nigeria try as much as they can to live to their party ideology, because that's the only way. Yeah, we can move forward, and with that, we have to move over to another story where, my heart sincerely goes to the family of Jimmy Carter. That's James L. Carter Jr., who happens to be the 39th president of the United States of America. Yes. He passed away at the age of 100, which happens to be the longest. He happens to be the longest ever lived U.S. president. And some people will say, why am I talking about it? I have to talk about it because he only served one term, yeah. And he was known for his post-presidential humanitarian effort. He was elected under the Democratic Party, then USA. But believe me when I say that Jim Carter, he has done so much for the people, including his work with the Carter Center and Habitat for Humanity. Despite challenges during his presidency, including the Iranian hostage crisis, his legacy is defined by his contributions to peace, human rights, and global development. Can we say this about some people who happens to be leaders now? You know, someone will ask me, but he has been there since 1970. Even if it has happened to be 1970 something, can we say this about some people, especially in Nigeria, who were there in the 1970 something as head of states, you know, up until now? But my dear, I want us to understand that whatever thing you do, think about posterity, because that actually comes out. It plays a whole lot. It really does.
Yes, Jimmy Carter happens to be one of America's longest living presidents. Our hearts go out to him and to his family anyway. But I think what clearly defined his presidency is not just that he served for one term, the fact that the Iranian hostage crisis that lasted for 444 days, you know, was what took away power from him. Yeah. And when you look at these things, you discover that politics itself, when some people say that politics is full of intrigues and all of that, it's alleged that the Republican Party, you know, at that point were the people behind that had actually covertly gone to Iran to ensure that those hostages were not released up until the election date. You know, and you recall that those hostages were released, I think, a day before Reagan was sworn in. And Henry Kissinger, the shuttle diplomat, you know, did a lot in that period. I think there are CIA documents and documents that laid claim to the fact that the Republican Party, you know, was behind the extension of the 444 days, you know, and all of that. So our hearts go out to the family of Jimmy Carter and Americans in general.
And that's how far we can go looking at the trending stories. We'll have to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at the cover pages of the national dailies. Do well to stay with us. Scintillating Christmas celebration and a prosperous New Year 2025.
From all of us, we just want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2025.
This is to wish you Merry Christmas. Una do well for standing by us all this time. In a significant development, here is a more prosperous New Year, filled with happiness and
With a wishing a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for always watching our Ubonge station.
A kú ọdún Kérésìmesì, a kí yín fún ọdún, a yóò máa ṣọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé.
Hi, I am Chukwuma Okoro. This is wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Anyị ekele unu n'ihi na unu soro anyị bido mgbe this year bido till now.
Season greetings from all of us and Voice of the People team.
Season's greetings from all of us at VOP TV.
The Utah is a season of love, a season of hope, a season of blessings. May the divine light of Christmas shine in your life this season. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all of us at Voice of the People Television. Thank you for sticking with us.
Welcome back. It's still VOP this morning. And on the cover page of the national dailies this morning, okay, I would like to tell us that we have the Daily Independent, the Vanguard newspaper, the Punch newspaper, the Guardian, the Nigerian Tribune, and a whole lot more. And I would like to start off from the Daily Independent. And the banner headline here reads, 2025 budget, FGA marks 55.5 billion naira for presidential air fleet. Riders to that story. Proposes 8.6 billion naira to repair air navigational equipment. NSIB plans 2 billion naira for construction of Yola Delta offices. The story, you can see the story is on page 29 of the Daily Independent. And the window headlines are, airlines not only cause of flight delays, cancellations, and that is coming from experts. Yeah, if we're talking about that, what happened to NIMET and all that. You know, the weather forecast also that they bring out. And then beside that one, Serap asks Tinubu, Shetima, others to make asset declaration public. Okay, and we have a pictorial there. Beneath that pictorial, Nigerian Navy capable of building world-class ship, says CNS. Lagos government heads to Supreme Court over acquittal of doctor in sexual assault conviction. Let me take that again for clarity purposes. Lagos State heads to Supreme Court over acquittal of doctor in sexual assault conviction. The story is on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Investigation underway in South Korea plane crash that killed 179. Wike replies Odili, says he lacks integrity, expected of elder statesman. We have another bold headline on the cover page of the Daily Independent. New listing bank recapitalization shaped NGX growth in 2024. Market cap rises to 61.944 trillion naira. The bottom strip headline, that's the last but not the least of the headlines on the cover page of the Daily Independent, is Lagos to conduct LG poll in 20 local government areas, 37 LCDAs in 2025. And that's from APC.
All right, and so let's move away from Daily Independent. So let's quickly run to the Nigerian Tribune. Despite 11 trillion naira contribution to GDP, high building materials costs heighten housing shortage in 2024. On top of the masthead, Nigeria's AFCFTA participation threatened by $2 billion Chinese currency deal. That's according to a report. Wike tackles Odili over private estate comment. Troops arrest Bello, Turji's female ammunition courier in Zamfara. Why we deferred nationwide strike till January. ASU. NDLEA intercepts 2 boats loaded with illicit drug consignment at Lagos Beach. Lagos will hold elections in 20 LGs, 37 LCDAs, says APC chairman. 2024, what a year for integrated marketing communication. Foreign, domestic transactions surge by 3.23 trillion naira in 1 year. Nigeria's economy too fragile for fully deregulated electricity market, CPPE warns. NAS Joint Appropriation Committee sets January 31 date to present report on 2025 budgets. These are the stories that you will find on the cover page of Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, we also have the Punch newspaper with the banner headline, Niger border towns live in fear over brewing row. With the rider, communities in border states plead for peaceful resolution. Debunk Niger leaders' claim of French troops in Nigeria. And you have the window headlines. New Owa Oboku gets staff of office, begins rise. That story is on page 27. I brought you back to life politically. Wike slams Odili. That story is on page 8. Oh, well, ex-US President Jimmy Carter dies at 100. Quite a sad one. Celebration of life, you will say. Now, there's a pictorial there of the airplane that crashed somewhere in South Korea. As federal government sympathizes with South Korea, as 179 died in plane crash. We have other headlines. Senate gets budget panel report, January 31. That story is on page 9. In-laws defilement. Lagos challenges convicted doctors acquittal at Supreme Court. You can find that story on pages 4 and 5. And finally, Nigeria gets World Bank $1.5 billion for subsidy removal, tax bills. We also have, beside the nameplate, you have CBN misappropriated 2.7 trillion naira interest on ways and means. That's coming from the Auditor General of the Federation. Now, let me take that again for emphasis. CBN misappropriated 2.7 trillion naira interest on ways and means. And this is coming from the Attorney General of the Federation.
All right.
And that's all from the Punch newspaper.
That's, well, he had to emphasize that one. I guess we'll touch on that one in the course of, before the week runs out. Well, let's look at another issue. One of the issues on our plate is what's going on in Rivers State, Wike and Odili. Wike to Odili, elder statesmen shouldn't be sycophants. Well, Let's talk about this one as the FCT minister has hit out at a former governor of the state. Let's talk about this one when we come back.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
The gift of love.
The gift of joy.
The gift of laughter.
The gift of happiness.
The gift of peace. May all these and more be yours this Utah season.
Merry Christmas!
Season's greetings from the management and staff of Voice of the People Television.
Well, thanks for joining us again. Now let's get into it. The FCT minister, Wike, has hit out at former Rivers State Governor Peter Odili, accusing him of sycophancy and nepotism. Speaking at a Thanksgiving service in Port Harcourt, Wike expressed his disappointment, stating that as an elder statesman, Odili should avoid political flattery and personal interest. Wike also criticized Odili for allegedly turning Rivers State into his personal estate, accusing him of placing family members in key positions. He took issues with Odili's recent praise of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, who, according to Odili, surpassed all past governors, including himself, in less than a year in office. Well, this praise came during a Christmas event where Justice Mary Odili also commended Fubara's leadership. While in response, Wike dismissed Odili's claim, emphasizing his own contributions to Odili's legacy, including his support for Pamo University and building him a mansion. Underline that. Building him a mansion. Wike accused Odili of hypocrisy, saying he had forgotten past support and resorted to political flattery. Meanwhile, Governor Fubara thanked the people of Rivers State for their continued support, promising to lead the state with strength and purpose despite the political challenges. So we're back to the issue of River State. In fact, we started the year talking about River State and the passage of the budgets and the assembly, whether the budget should have been presented to the Amewule-led assembly or the Okojumbo-led assembly. And we are ending the year with River State. So River State really has been significant in the history of Nigeria in 2024. Well, we have with us in the studio Barrister Darlington Agumo. Barrister, good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation.
Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Okoro. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
And we'll also be we'll also be touching base with our outstations. We'll be touching base with some of our outstations in the course of the program, where we'll get analysts from those outstations as we dive into this. So, Barrister, first off, in your opinion now, do you think Wike has the moral rights to accuse any individual of sycophancy, seeing that even himself has said things against the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in times past, and he basically went 360 on his own words?
Thank you, Moses. In fact, if you ask me who is the godfather of sycophants, it's Wike. Wike went overboard in his praises for Tinubu. And how does sycophancy come into this matter? It is because, when you are overpraising somebody for infamy, that is a signature for sycophancy. You are praising somebody unduly. You are praising somebody for what he does.
No, you don't think that he saw the light, because before now he talked about how he would never support Tinubu, or how somebody that said he wants to follow after Buhari's footsteps, does that person know what he's doing? How that person isn't making sense? But then we saw that as the elections, drew closer, he gave his support to Tinubu. Don't you think he saw something that some Nigerians fail to see?
What you just described is double standard. Saying one thing and doing another. But if Wike had stopped at that, I wouldn't bother. But he was not only displaying double standard, he was playing sycophancy to the extreme. Because when he got to Abuja, one thought he would have done his job without minding whose us is God and all that. But you saw a Wike who went about praising Tinubu to high heaven. And I asked myself, what was the reason? You remember when the journalists were interviewing, he was dancing on your mandate to stand, Jagabam. I was wondering, what's all this? What's all this? So you mean a man who did all this thing is more responsible than an Odili? Let him tell us at which point and to whom did Odili display sycophancy. Let him tell us. Then we cannot tell him how his own sycophancy has redefined sycophancy. Wike has redefined sycophancy because you are praising a Tinubu on what ground? Is it in morality? Is it in performance? Is it in integrity? Is it in character? So when you see a man who is doing all this, then you ask yourself, on what basis are you even clean behind Tinubu? I can't find any. So it is Wike who is the real sycophant here.
All right. Barrister Darlington, the issue in the River State, like we thought it had thought, but we know differently now. Now, Wike has also said that, look, I revived you politically. I don't know if Odili was dead before, but he made allusions to the fact that he built him a mansion. And the fact that he helped him, in the establishment of Pamo Clinic. Meanwhile, Pamo Clinic is Peter and Mary Odili, Pamo University. They also had a Pamo Hospital, Peter and Mary Odili, PAMO. Now, if Wike had done all this, and probably more, for Odili, do you think that Odili should have been circumspect in trying to back Fobara instead of calling for peace, a resolution of the crisis in Rivers State. As an elder statesman, was he supposed to take sides with one against the other?
If you mean Odili?
Yes, Peter Odili. Should he?
My brother, if you ask me, all the people in Rivers State are supposed to take side against Wike because of what he's doing. I'm not joking. Everybody in Rivers State who want the survival of that state should be against Wike as I talk to you now. Because what he did or what he has been doing in Rivers State has never been done in the history of this country.
Wouldn't that deepen the crisis instead of resolving?
No, it will not. It is not. What
I mean, as an elder statesman, shouldn't Peter Odili have aligned with other statesmen? Say, look, gentlemen, come, let us resolve this thing.
Wike, look, the Wike that I know is not somebody you can placate. Except he has his way, he will not agree with you. So the only thing Wike understand there is force.
Now, my question is this, Barrister. When is it that it's now a crime? When does it become a crime for someone to say the truth? Given the fact that Odili also pointed out that Similai Fubara also, in 1 year, did what he could not do when he was there in office. Now, are we seeing people being a bit petty with the politics and, you know, the whole wrangling happening in Rivers State?
No, that is Wike for you. Wike does not agree that any other person can outperform him in Rivers State. He claimed that Rivers State belongs to him. And that is where I faulted him, because this Odili and other people have ruled the Rivers State. We never had it this bad. It is only when Wike left office that he started all this nonsense. That is where I vehemently disagree with Wike. He overreached himself by his actions, utterances, and all that. All this noise that I built this, I built that, I bought from for all of you. What kind of rubbish?
Is there a possibility? Do you think that what Odili said is more like a political soundbite, you know? Is there a possibility that Fubara, in the midst of the crisis that has dodged that state in the past 18 months and more, has outperformed Wike's 8 years?
It is obvious because the facts on ground is speaking.
Facts like
developmental projects. Like the road construction, the payment of salary, welfare of workers. You know, Wike was only Rivers State workers before he left office. Are you aware? Fubara have cleared it, even when the federal government was withholding his funds.
Wike built 14 flyovers in 8 years. How many has Fubara built in 2 years?
No. If we can have...
No, what we are trying to measure is performed you in 1 year.
Yes, hold on.
According to Odili.
If we can build flyover, please, will it be necessary for Fubara to start building flyover again? No. There are areas that, remember, Wike did all this in 8 years old. Are you aware?
Exactly my point. Is there a possibility that Fubara's 1 year can outperform Wike's 8 years?
My dear, how do you measure good governance?
You just talked about paying salaries and infrastructure.
Exactly. And then having a level playing field for all persons in the state and not dominating the political space in Rivers, claiming that it's your own and all that. Look, the attitude of Wike in office, if you check, Fubara is the opposite. And that is what makes for good governance. Respecting people's right and opinion, respecting the rule of law. Since Fubara got in there, he has never been arrogant to anybody. He has never dominated anything. He didn't claim to be all-encompassing like a Wike did in office. So these are the measures you can look at and say, yeah, this man is doing a work. When Wike was there, he claimed that Rivers State belonged to him. Nobody can talk or say anything in Rivers except Wike says so. Please, have you seen that attitude in Fubara? The answer is no. So why won't you cherish such a man who want to bring democracy, the tenets of democracy, into governance? Unlike Wike. All the things that Wike did in Rivers State, in fact, he almost colonized that state. I have seen people from Rivers who said that, look, when Wike was there, you dare not oppose him.
How possible is that, given the fact that Wike made a statement, you know, during the time that he pointed out all this, said something about how Odili made the wife to be the commissioner, the daughter to be a judge, and also another daughter also, you know, to be one of, you know, another head of another organization and all that, still within the state, more like turning it into his his personal estate.
Please, all these appointments, were they merited?
No, we have a video to that effect. If you can get that, no, for clarity papers, so that people can follow us. You know, let's get the video, Barrister, so that you hear what he said. All right, I guess I said the video is not ready yet.
It's not ready.
Let's
look, my dear. Don't rule out such a thing. It is possible and it happens when it comes to governance and leadership. Even in the Bible, Mary went to Jesus Christ and said, look, let your two brothers be with you, one at the left, one at the right-hand side. But Jesus Christ said, no, if they merit it, they will be there. Are you getting what I'm saying? So, it didn't start today. The question is, this appointment you are talking about, were they merited? Or we are not just giving because they are my family member? If they are merited and they are performed, what is wrong with that? We are talking of where you now bring and think that it is only your family member that can be in a certain position, even when they did not merit it. That is the problem here. If you are a governor and you appoint one or two persons from your family into governor, what is wrong there? Who will not do that? But when you now colonize the entire state, when you colonize the entire state, everything must start and end with you. That's what we are talking about here. Was Wike, is Fubara behaving like that? Did Odili behave like that? When Wike was the governor, did anybody breathe down his neck? Did anybody come to dictate for him? That is the problem in Rivers State. Except you don't want to say the truth here. Wike is the problem of Rivers because you want to colonize that state. It's as simple as that.
All right then. Well, let's go over to one of our outstations. Now, the Oka station is standing by where we have Ndo Okbaleze. Good morning to you, Ndo Okbaleze. Thanks for joining the conversation. Let's establish communication with you. Good to see you this beautiful Monday morning, the last Monday actually for the year 2024. Now, with everything going on in Rivers State, and we see the role that Wike has continued to play. Unfortunately, in Rivers State, Rivers State has maintained what some will call two state houses of assembly. How does that make you feel?
The other one is not functioning.
The existence of two state houses of assembly in one state well as a democratic nation. It shows that there is something really wrong fundamentally in the place. It shows that our people take politics to the extent that they place it above human existence, above things that when the outside world look at us, they will just take us as a laughing stock. Because, how can you have two houses in one state? There must be one that is legal.
Well, we seem to have lost audio from Orca's station now, quite unfortunately. Well, we do hope that our engineers will rectify that, and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah. No,
Barrister, you say one is functioning and the other is not.
In fact, let us not make reference to what is not there. The other 27 lawmakers, they are not in existence under the law. So let us not. They are not presiding any.
Barrister, are you shying away from the reality? Because you are saying they are not there.
Yes.
But then we see that some courts, a court has, basically authorized them to continue.
We'll continue with what? Which state are they now?
But they are still they are still holding sway.
Where?
The Martin Samewule led assembly now still holds sway.
The court even ordered the governor to represent
the budget. Why did you away from what seems to be there?
Hold on, please, hold on. Don't rush this thing, please.
Okay.
You see, this is the reason why I would have advocated that everybody should know the law. So that when you are talking on the authority of what the law says. Not what people are saying, not propaganda, not what you think. Mr. Okoro and Moses, Section 109 have made it clear that when you defect, you have lost your position.
Interesting.
True or false?
Well, that's what the law says.
Is that not the truth? Hold on, let us face the truth.
That's
here.
what the law says.
Good.
So, Barrister,
did these people defect or not? They defected.
Are you saying that the court that has asked the governor to represent the budget is not aware of the law?
Even the court that made that provision, that they should, you know very well, you know that pronouncement is tainted with what? Bias.
Barrister, but that's not the issue.
Because they have not been able.
I don't know.
They have not been able to interpret Section 109.
Barrister. So the issue remains that even the courts themselves don't seem to know the law.
Is it not obvious? Is that they are shying away from the truth? Okay, since they made that provision, what has happened? Those people, are they functioning? Which state are they presiding or legislating for? Which state?
But you know that the accounts of River State were confiscated.
No,
so if that actually is not holding its way, then why is it that they cannot have access to their...
No. Even the court have told, their people have told their government to give River State their money. I hope you are aware.
Yes, of course.
Good. Yeah, so that means the earlier judgment they are basing on is null and void. Are you not getting it? The real reason for withholding their fund ab initio was because of these 27 lawmakers. But the court have said no.
No, the real reasons was because of the local government elections.
But it has been done. Even the court have validated the local government elections. So what are you saying? Please, on what basis are all these arguments coming? If there is no basis, I am telling you today, authoritative, that the 27 lawmakers are regretting their action because they were prodded, they were induced, they were manipulated by Wike. Not that they did it deliberately or from their conscience. They are regretting their actions today because they are neither here nor there.
All right, Barrister, you are a lawyer, and I like the fact that you're a lawyer, that you understand the letters of the law. Is there any place in the Constitution where the Constitution gives powers, to 4 people to constitute a House of Assembly in 31 state constituencies that should make up the House of Assembly?
Listen very well.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Now, the question is, was there any place in the Constitution that envisaged that 27 lawmakers will defect to another party?
But there is a section of the Constitution that says that before a House sits, there must be a quorum. Now, at what point does 4 constitute a quorum of 31?
The quorum is those lawmakers that are legitimately elected by the people and that are sitting.
Barrister, does it bother you that 27 state constituencies in River State are not represented?
Whose fault? Mr. Okoro, whose fault? You were called to come and eat. You say you don't want to eat. Please, is it my fault? We have been elected into a house and you say you don't want to belong to that house. Then what should I do? I should not wait for you. You mean governors should stand still in River State until these lawmakers, after their duty tour with Wike, they will not come back. Then government will stand still.
So it's not of concern to you that the constituents of the 27...
it is left for them. It is left for them to call them back and ask them, what are you doing? Call them. When you defected, did you consult us? It is left for the constituent to do the needful, to recall them. That's what they're supposed to do. It's not, in fact, governance cannot remain static because some people decided to defect. The provisions are there. Even the court knows. The only reason why is that political sentiment have come into the matter. That is all. If not for political sentiment, why have the court not resolved the question of the position of the Constitution in Section 109 concerning defection? Why have they not resolved that issue? You can see now. So the argument is neither here nor there.
So now this also brings to fore the issue of the courts being blind, justice being blind, I beg your pardon. And influence that we've seen play out now, influence of individuals and organizations, as the case may be, on the courts. Going forward now, what do you expect? I mean, it's over a year, 365 days gone by. The governor has less than 3 more years in office.
Yes.
What do you expect going forward?
I expect governance to continue in Rivers State.
As it's going now.
As it's going, yes. That the 27 lawmakers of Wike cannot stop governance in Rivers State. Because that's what they wanted to do ab initio. Remember, he had tried so many things. We've told him of their fund, it didn't work. Local government election, it didn't work. So, what are you saying? So, are you telling me Fubara have not been winning? I thought they said Wike is all and all. Why did he fail in all these areas? If Wike had that power, why has he failed?
No, Barrister, what do you have to say about godfatherism? Could you know that this is what led to all this happening in River State? We can also see how it played out between Odili and Amechi, even Amechi and Wike. Now it's happening between Wike and Fubara. What do you really have to say about all this?
No, there is no. The only person that can become a godfather is the person you are allowed to become a godfather to you.
But he's been playing out in River State.
You can see how it's turned out. Did it turn out well? If something did not succeed, why do you make reference to it? It failed. It failed in River State. And you are not know why it has succeeded in Lagos State. You know, that's where Wike came for lectures. And now, you want to take it to where the environment is not conducive. Yes. That's why it's not good to copy everything you see. There are something that work with you, but it cannot work with somebody. That's what happened with Wike. He didn't read the between the lines. He didn't. He didn't know that River State is not Lagos State. He didn't. That is why it has backfired. And if you ask me, Wike has become a spent force in River State. All the bravado is only in Abuja now. He can't brag in River State again. He can't. Nobody's with him. So is that a successful godfather? Okay. He failed. And he will continue to fail as long as he has gone this far. On what basis will you tell me that the governor must not sign a contract more than 5 million naira, that you are supposed to be collecting 25 billion for an allocation, this and that? Who told you that?
Okay, but Barrister, is it a Wike thing or is it a River thing? Because at a point, Farotimi Amechi came out to say that River State is the center of betrayals. He betrayed Odili. Wike betrayed him. Now Fubara is betraying Wike. So it's more like a chain reaction.
Yes,
so do we hold Wike responsible for what is happening? Or should we hold the people of River State?
That will tell you that place, there is no place for godfathers in River State. I pray it continue. In fact, let somebody come and betray Fubara. It will continue until they realize that no godfather is welcome in River State. That's what I'm saying here. I mean, I don't know about the lesson. It will help them to know that this place, godfatherism is not welcome. It's not betrayal. It's about saying the truth, asserting yourself. It's not betrayal.
But River State is not the only place it has happened. It happened in Abia State between Ojus Okada. It happened between Chimaroke, Namane, and Sullivan Chime. It happened between Godwin Obaseki and Adams Oshomole. And all of that. Is it a Nigerian thing?
No. These places you mentioned, remember, after the first experience, it died. Okay. Like a T.A.O.G. and the Ojus Okalo. It died with Godfather. Died with the two of them.
No, it didn't because after T.A. was Okezi's Godfather.
No. He didn't go to the extent of T.A.O.G. imposing himself on Okezi. He didn't. We didn't see T.O.G. going to Abia to come and tell Okoze what to do and what not to do.
Anyway, a lot happened in Abia. A lot happened in Abia. It's a discussion for another day. I understand that our correspondent from Oka has rejoined us.
Whatever happened, it can't be like River State.
Okay, thank you, Barrister. Let's go to Oka and we'll come back to the studio. No, good to have you once again. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, very well then. Do you recall the question that Moses asked? You may well go ahead to finish up with the question before I come in.
Yes, I was talking that there's need. What I want to see in Rivers is a quick resolution. I mean, because it's the judiciary that is holding the matter. It's a quick resolution of the matters in court so that they will know whether the 27 people are
lost him again. I also wanted to let lead us into a feel of what is happening in Anambra State. Today is a Monday, I wanted to know, even in this Yule tide, is there a sit at home? Is it being enforced by certain people and all of that? I hope that he will just come back so that he can feed us in, about what is happening in Anambra State. Now, let's come back to the studio.
Mr. Okoro, are you aware that at the National Assembly, based on the provisions of Section 68, 1G, that those people who defected, their parties are now gearing up to go to court to fill the vacancy? Are you aware? That is what the Constitution says. Even the Senate President announced it. So, whether they like it or not, INEC even meeting a date.
Why is it that the Senate, why is it difficult for... Okay, sorry, I wanted to... Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so that will tell you that the law is there. It's
Barrister,
not that people refuse to...
Sorry to interrupt your train of thought now. Do you foresee a situation where this dilly-dallying in the issue of the State House of Assembly in Rivers State may continue up until 2027?
It's possible. It's possible. As long as governance is going on, why not?
Now, if and when that happens, what would it portend for the position of the judiciary in its dispensation of orders, justice, and the rest?
Good.
And then Rivers State itself and Nigeria as a whole.
I have told you here that the NJC is stepping over stepping over some of these cases. I have told you here that they should package this particular case and give it to the CJN. Let her tell us why this case is being delayed. Why the case cannot be resolved. How many months now? It's almost a year now since this thing happened. The 27 lawmakers who defected in Rivers State, what is their position? What did the law say? Or are you going to rewrite the law? Are you telling me that if this thing is in favor of APC, the court would have taken decision long ago? True or false? That's why I told that political sentiment have come into this matter. That is why it cannot be resolved. That would be the highest blow Wike will receive. The day the court will pronounce that these people, they should go for another election. If they want to become members of Rivers State House of Assembly, they should go for another election. That is the provision of the law. Nobody can change it. That is why this thing is hanging.
Okay. Barrister, it's good that you mentioned going to elections again, by elections, to fill those vacancies.
Yes.
If you have a political crystal ball, is it possible for you to predict the way it will go if these people are asked to go and stand for by-elections? Do you think what happened in local government elections is going to play out?
In this particular case, let us get to the bridge before we think of how to cross it. Is that not true? Because there may be a canoe, a boat to standing by to ferry you across. You might even develop those people that fly in the night and fly across the bridge. If I remember, you across the bridge.
No, what I'm saying, do you think that Fubara is going to have his way? The way we have it in the local government
did you believe that what he did with the local government, it could happen?
Now that he did it, can he replicate it? Do you think he can replicate it?
Why not? If not, why not? If you think you are clever, there are people who are more clever than you now. Well, if they think, why have they not taken that route to go and test their popularity?
So, in your estimation, in the battle, in the struggle for the soul of Rivers State between Wike and Fubara, who do you think is the clear winner?
No. There is no more struggle for the soul of Rivers State. The soul of Rivers State has been fought and won by Fubara and the people of Rivers State. Nobody can change it. Nobody. As I'm talking to you now, there is no reasonable person behind Wike in Rivers State. Is that not a fact? So who is he going to fight the soul of Rivers State with? Who? Even in the street urchin that follow him, they are even lost focus. Because I remember what happened during the election of the local government chairman. His own Fubara's boys came out and challenged Wike about to come out. They ran away. They ran away. And that's why those local government chairmen are still working peacefully.
But I like the way the conversation is going.
Yes.
Let's look at 2027. Do you think that Fubara will be able to, Wike will be able to cut a slice of Rivers State for the APC?
It will be difficult.
And do you think that Fubara is going to support the PDP?
Why do you say it to be difficult, Barrister?
Because Fubara have taken root with the local government chairman. Fubara is solidly in charge of River State now. In fact, the man at Obiakpo local government, which happened to be Wike's local government chairman, that man is a hardliner. So I don't see how Wike can go there and mess up.
All right.
It's not possible.
Okay, on the national stage now, we know that the presidency would need River State in 2027. If things continue as they are going right now, and like you just rightly postulated, that Wike may not have a grip of the state come 2027, what do you think will play out really on the national stage with the APC and the PDP and the APP as it stands? Because the APP, I think it's the APP that is, yes, APP, local government level, PDP, the governor of the state, and APC, national level.
When a man will cook for an entire community, they will finish the food within 1 hour. But when the community cook for you, Moses, you can't finish it even in 1 year. You can't. That's the issue here. Wike have lost River State, and we warned him. He went too far in order to please the Tinubu. I am telling you, when the time comes, they will see Wike as a liability and dump him. The same way they did to Amechi. Moses, they did it to Amechi. I don't know why Wike is not learning any lesson. They did it to Amechi, so they will do it to him too.
So basically, the APC can still get support in the state.
We support when they dump Wike. Who are they going to use the again? Nobody.
So you foresee a situation whereby the APC will lose River State?
In 2019, they lost Rivers because they didn't participate in any election in River State. They called to say so. Because they did not conduct any primary. And so, what is wrong if they lose it in 2027? They should look elsewhere now. Because the people of River State have said no to imposition, to godfatherism. Are you going to force yourself on them? It's not possible.
All right, now, Boris, the fact that you've been mentioning the people of River State and all that is interesting also to know that, the governor of Bayelsa, Odili, visited Similai Fubara during this Christmas period. And then he went on extensively to talk about how the collaboration between the two states is yielding something good. And then he also pointed out that he's doing all these things to make sure that the people who happens to be at the grassroots benefit from this. Now, with all this happening, political inclusion, the people at the grassroots and all that. Now, what do you think will happen come 2027 in River State?
Of course.
With the way things are going, looking at the fact that they don't even have the state assembly, if I'm to use that word, over the fact that just 4 persons. Persons are there. Just
they
4.
have.
And then the fact that some other persons are beginning to raise doors about how those constituencies are not being carried along in Similai Fubara's administration.
Who told you that? Developmental project.
They don't have representatives.
Hold on. Developmental project. Did it exclude those constituencies of those 27 lawmakers? The answer is no. Fubara is spreading it all over, even in Wike's constituency. So those people are not complaining. Have you had any complaint from all those? No. The man is spreading it all around River State. He's building alliances with his neighboring states, Bayelsa. So what is anybody saying here? It will be difficult for you to penetrate. Look, you can only be defeated at home. If your house is not in order, then the enemy can come in. But with the consolidation of power in River State now, in the hands of Fubara, which enemy will come to torpedo his political influence in Rivers? Which enemy? No enemy. No enemy. All this thing that Wike is trying to do now, it's like a drowning man trying to catch a straws. When you are drowning, you try to catch anything so that you go down with that thing. Wike have lost it in River State, whether you like it or not. It's as simple as that. So 2027, except if Fubara decide to say, I'm not contesting or whatever. But if you want to contest, River people will support him 100%. 100%, yeah, they will support him 100 with the way he's going and with the support he has gotten from the people. Don't you know that if not for the support of the people, Wike would have been flexing muscle again in River State? Is that not true? But because they have lost the grassroots support, which is River State. Is that not why he's now behaving himself? If not, he would have been threatening the governor, going to government house with impunity and telling what to do and what not to do. But he cannot do that now. That one is gone, whether he like it or not.
But he still visits River State.
Yes,
there's a congregation, you know, around his house.
Was he banned? He was not banned from visiting River State.
No, what I mean is that when he gets into River State, his presence is felt in River State.
By who and who? All those street urchins. Mention one reasonable person that.
First, I think don't you think that's a rather derogatory statement?
Are you serious? I said mention one reasonable person that followed him. Now, is it not a point? Even the APC chairman in River State, the court have shut down his position. Is that not true, Okocha?
But Okocha is still on his side.
Oh, you mean if you refuse to obey court order, it makes it invalid?
Magnus Abe is still on his side.
Please, where are those
Magnus Abe?
I said, where are those people in the scheme of things? What position is Magnus Abe holding?
Senator.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Really? Let him come now. Let him come and influence this in River State. It's not that you can say in Abuja and be talking. Let him come and influence this in River State. Even where is Magnus Abe when things turned the other side for Wike? Where was he? Where were the people when Fubara, in a deft political move, swept the local government with another party? What were they? Where were they? Where were they? Mr. Okoro, please don't go there. Don't go there. Wike have lost River State.
Now, if you say Wike have lost River State, let's take it back to what is happening in FCT, where even with the demolition he's doing, and about the fact that the Senate says that he should hold on. You know, he should pause the activities of the demolition. And he also stood his ground saying that I will continue to do the needful, taking back whatever thing people have stolen from the government to bring it back to the government. Now, when you look at all this, Barrister Darlington, juxtaposed, it doesn't really look like Wike has lost the grip or the power he has.
I told you now, the only place he can flex muscle is Abuja, Federal Capital Territory. That's the only place. His influence does not extend to River State again. And that is a very big victory for Fubara. Can he come to River State to demolish any house? The answer is no, he can't do. In fact, I am thinking that if Fubara comes back in the second term, he should demolish Wike's house, because that house is standing on an illegal ground.
How so?
Yeah.
Which house? The one in
Wike's house in River State. Wike's house, where he built that house. A school was there.
Okay.
He bought that land and asked the woman to relocate that school somewhere else.
Did he pay compensation?
I don't even know.
Okay.
But the fact remains that that place was not supposed to be a place for residential apartment, because it is now impeding the flow of drainage. He took it by force without any environmental assessment. That particular place. So in future, that house will go down.
Okay. But Barrister Darlington, let's go back to Wike and Abuja and River State and all the connections. A lot of people felt that the president should intervene, and he did intervene once. You know, there were letters of an accord. And when that accord fell apart, the president has not said anything again. Does it look like the president left him in the dark to crumble in River State, as you have said, so that he will concentrate on his duties in Abuja?
You see, mostly when you want to settle a fight, please, you should be neutral. That is the only way you can achieve success in your intervention.
Okay, the president wasn't neutral?
He wasn't. He wasn't. In the first place, does that need an intervention that a governor have left office and he has got an appointment as Minister of Federal Capital Territory? And yet he's causing problem in the state he just left.
But let's not forget that Nigerians called on the to intervene in the matter.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Are you serious? Other things we have told Tinubu to intervene. Has he answered us? We have told him to release Nnamdi Kanu. Why didn't he answer us? That's why I thought that he's selfish. Do you think They can play everybody, not me. Intervene on what?
But
He did it because it benefits him. He wanted to save Wike.
But Mr. Darlington, not to think that the strategic nature of River State, I'm talking about how it has the oil deposit, largely and all that, where we have a main revenue generation, also happen to be the region had to intervene in that to make sure that the activities in that area is not being cramped or crumbled in any way.
Fina, please. What President Tinubu could not do, Fubara have done it. Fubara have clipped Wike's wing, and River State is at peace as I'm talking to you now. Is that not true? So what are you talking about? Something Tinubu would have done long ago to save himself the embarrassment. Now that Fubara have done it, what else are you talking about? Tell me. It was President Tinubu that he gave Wike the wing that he was using to fly all over the place. Now that Fubara have clipped that wing, who will you give the success story in River State today? Is it not Fubara? Tell me.
Okay.
So since he has refused to do the needful, somebody has done it for him. So nobody should mention that peace move because it was never a peace move.
Okay, Barrister Darlington, there's something you said now that is quite instructive. You said that people have been asking the president to release Nnamdi Kanu, and he hasn't done that. So but people called him to intervene on the case,
and he quickly did that. And you didn't see the reason. You didn't see.
There's a reason why I asked this question.
Okay, go ahead.
You always believe that certain governors or former governors from the southeast are the ones asking the president to continuously hold Nnamdi Kanu in detention. Based on your statement, relying on what you now say, do you still believe that certain people are asking the president to hold Nnamdi and that he is acquiescing to their demand?
Hold on. I can't remember telling you that any governor or anybody in the southeast is withholding the release of Nnamdi.
No, asking the president to continuously detain him.
No, which governor has come out to say, I am the one that told you Tinubu to release?
No, but you have made that allegation.
No, please. I have just told you here, whatever does not benefit Tinubu, he will pretend as if he's not interested. It's as simple as that. So let nobody come and tell me, this other one that intervened, why did he intervene? Is it not because it benefits him? Is that not true? So let nobody come and tell me. The fact remains that the court have said releasing Nnamdi Kanu. So if they are keeping him there, the question you should ask yourself, why are they keeping him? Why can't he intervene? So everybody have told him in this. All these other people that have been telling the Tinubu or Haneze, all the leaders of thought in the Southeast have been telling to release this man.
No, don't you think?
So why did he keep
don't you think the way some people are speaking out, calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, some people are also speaking privately.
I don't see anybody that told the Tinubu not
privately.
I have no. You see now.
No, I'm asking the question.
What is private about it?
I'm asking you the question,
the same way we are speaking out now. If we tell that we can compare notes, on one person will you detain a man who you know very well that the court has said let him go. In fact, the court said that you don't even have a law to try this man for rendering him from Kenya to Nigeria. It was the federal government that committed an offense. You do remember that the Supreme Court even advising Nnamdi Kanu to sue the federal government, to institute a civil action against the federal government for what they have done to him. Are you not aware? So what are you saying? The federal government is, if you ask me, they are even trying to avoid a situation whereby Nnamdi Kanu will sue them. Because the Supreme Court gave that advice.
But he already did the same. The case is already in court.
All right, then. Well, let's move away from this conversation.
The federal government should have done is to release him. If Tinubu wants to intervene and he claims to be a statesman, the same way he intervened in River State between the Fubara and the Wike, let him intervene in Nnamdi Kanu's case.
All right,
he had that priority.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much, Barrister Darlington Agumwa. We'd like you to stay with us as we get into the other conversation now. Now, this one falls within your jurisdiction a lot more, as we'll be talking about two individuals that are renowned in the legal profession. Dele Farotimi declares readiness for legal battle with Afe Babalola. Let's look into this when we come back from this break.
The gift of love.
The gift of joy.
The gift of laughter.
The gift of happiness.
The gift of peace. May all these and more be yours this Yuletide season. Season's greetings from the management and staff of Voice of the People Television.
Welcome back. It's still VOP this morning. Human rights activist Dele Farotimi has vowed to face his ongoing trial over alleged defamation of senior advocate of Nigeria, Afe Babalola, in a post on X. Farotimi said he is prepared for the fight, describing himself as ready to confront principalities and powers. Farotimi was arrested weeks ago but granted 13 million naira bail by an Ado-Ekiti magistrate court. He was released after meeting the bail's conditions. The activist criticized those behind his arrest, claiming they lost the first round of the fight and pledged to continue his battle for justice. The case has drawn public attention with debates over free speech and defamation in Nigeria. However, Farotimi remains determined to prove his innocence, even as he became emotional during the weekend, where he dropped a video on a social media handle appreciating Nigerians for, being behind him, for speaking for him. As he was crying, he was also appreciating all Nigerians for not playing the political or the tribal or religious card, but standing behind him to make sure that democracy is what we all practice. We have with us in the studio Barrister Darlington Agamo, who is also VOP TV in-house analyst, is a political commentator, and will be joined, though virtually, from our Benin station by Barrister Abraham Oviawe, who is a public affairs analyst, a human rights activist. All right. Good morning, Barrister Abraham Oviawe. Can you hear me, Barrister Oviawe? Good morning. Right, good to have you again, Barrister Darlington. Let's start with you, a quick one now. What do you really have to
good morning for having me.
What do you have to say about this, given the fact that just a few days after Farotimi's release, is coming up to say that he's even making a vow that he's going to make sure he defends this whole thing to the latter, saying that nothing can withhold him. He's ready to fight both principalities and powers in Nigeria to make sure that freedom and justice is what is being upheld. What do you have to say about this?
Thank you, Fina. You see this particular matter, I am on all fours with Dele. I am on all fours with Dele in support. Let him go the whole hog to prove a point here. Because we are talking of cleaning up the judiciary. How else can that be done if we don't challenge certain things in court? We have been allowing so many things to go unchallenged. We have been allowing so much infamy in our judiciary. And that is why people can just do things anyhow without regard to the law. We just talked about what is going on in Rivers State today, even when the provisions are there. So let Dele challenge this thing to the letter, because he has his facts. If it is a layman that is talking, I will say, well, maybe I will be talking with circumspect. But this is a player in the legal profession, a senior lawyer for that matter. And so he wrote a book, and you say because of that. You see, this is one of the reasons why they told us that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book, because you will never read it.
But this particular book, I've made it to be the
Exactly, because if you check the Western world, the white man, they don't play with books. Most of the development, most of the successes of the white man came from reading books. The book they read, they got ideas from it. I was thinking that when that book was released, the judiciary itself should have gone into a monastery, of legal reform, and say, this is our brother, this is one of our own, and he has brought out this thing. What do we do? At least it will help to clean up themselves like that journalist in Ghana did in Ghana judiciary. The fact is stated there. Is it true or false? Even the fact that the ordinary man in the city know about the judiciary, is it true or false? Did you not see what is going on? Even at the end of the day, listen very well, oh, all the past CJN, it is when they are leaving office that will tell you how corrupt the judiciary is. What does that tell you? What does that tell you, for God's sake? The head of the judiciary, who saw and knew what is going on, he will not talk. Until the day he's leaving office, validating speech, they'll come and tell you how corrupt the judiciary is. You will not say, so you have been sitting on corruption all this while. And somebody wrote a book to bring it up. Instead of you to say, okay, oh, what this man said is true, oh, let us reform ourselves, let us clean up ourselves. You will now gang up and start. Can you destroy the truth by ganging up?
But Barrister, I like the word you use, gang up.
I
like the word gang up,
yes.
Because we had a guest here last week, a lawyer for that matter. There's a particular word he used. He said that, in his own opinion, that Dele overreached himself. That he may not have evidence. That he may not have evidence to prove his allegations.
Okay, fine.
Now, I understand that the legal profession is very conservative. I'm sorry to say that, but that is what it is. You know, they like to maintain the status quo. Now, Dele is fighting very powerful interests in the judiciary, in the legal practice. When I say judiciary, because you also talked about the Supreme Court justices being very corrupt. Now, Dele said yesterday that in round one of the fight, that he has won. If you put it against the fact that he is fighting very powerful interests, do you see Odili Farotimi coming out unscattered in this struggle, in this fight? Because the man said it's going to be a very long fight, a long haul, you know, to freedom for Odili Farotimi.
Remember also that the Federal High Court in Abuja have also ordered that all the proceeds from this book, you know, will be seized and all that, as you react.
All this does not matter. What matters is the fact on ground. What matters is the truth. I ask you a question here. Is it true or not that the past CJN of Nigeria, the day they were leaving office, they told the whole world that the judiciary in Nigeria is corrupt? Is it true or not?
Barrister, have Dele won round one of the fight?
But by granting him bail and all that.
And LPDC said, look, if you feel offended, you know, go to court and seek redress. And the LPDC is very conservative too, because it's made up of senior advocates of Nigeria, former justices and all of that. Does it look like Dele is ahead of the game? Is he ahead of Babalola?
Because what Babalola wanted to do, he did not succeed. He did not succeed. In law, you cannot sanction somebody who is not among you. Why would you say that they should debar Dele from practicing when Dele have already left the legal profession? So what does it with that thing stand? It cannot stand.
The lawyer also said that he has spoken to very senior lawyers and that they are all against Dele. I'm asking this question. Do you think that these people use the word gang up?
Why didn't you bring the lawyer this morning so that we argue this in out? Which
lawyer? That's not the response. We're asking you the question.
Well, anyway,
before we go on, please let's take a video. There's a video of Dele Farotimi shedding tears and saying Nigeria did not happen to him because a few people spoke up for him. Exactly. Well, let's take a list. Let's watch this one and then we'll come back to the conversation.
It's tears of joy.
We stopped being human because we became Nigerians. They divided us and we fell for it. Because you wouldn't see me as a Yoruba man, you spoke for me. Because you wouldn't see me as a Christian, you spoke for me. Because you spoke. Because you spoke. Because you spoke. Because you spoke.
Yes.
Couldn't happen to me. Because you spoke. The only reason Nigeria couldn't happen to me is because you spoke. You spoke. That is why Nigeria couldn't happen to me. And yeah, Nigeria couldn't happen to me. Emu, Eki, Biteru Record. You found your voices. I became you. And in our collective, you couldn't be silent.
All right, then. So there you have it. I'm going to pick out a few things that he said here. You know, he kept hammering, because you spoke for me. Nigeria couldn't happen to me. Nigeria, you know, he said that repeatedly in this very short clip. What is the implication? I mean, we've heard people say, oh, Nigeria happened to you. People travel out of the country, when they come back, something happens, oh, Nigeria happened to you. Don't you think there's a bigger concern where the rule of law is not being upheld, and people say Nigeria happened to you because your rights were trampled upon? Don't you think there's a bigger concern here?
That is it. That is why some of us are worried. The Moses, you don't know how big this thing is. Moses, 2 examples will tell you how corrupt the system is. Ibori's case, for God's sake. This man was discharged and acquitted in Nigeria, but he was jailed in the UK. He pleaded guilty. What does that tell you? So you mean the judiciary here is not able to convict Ibori, but he could do that? Did you even hear what the judge said when he was reading the judgment against Ibori? Even the lawyer, oh my God, even Ibori's lawyer was jailed with Ibori because he wanted to compromise the UK judiciary. Is that not a fact? Can it happen here? Moses, can it happen here? When somebody told the presidential petition tribunal during their final written address that, look, if this judgment does not go in favor of my client, Nigeria will burn, there will be anarchy. We saw it now. They brought out the particular paragraph where this was written. During that particular period, we all saw it. And nobody said anything. Try it in UK. Moses, try such a thing in UK and see what will happen to you, whether you practice law again. So what are you not telling me? How do you define corruption? Even the people in the system, they know that the system is corrupt. They are telling you. But they say, but there's nothing we can do. That's unfortunate. And somebody is now saying, look, let us look at this thing so that we don't destroy ourselves, because it is said that the judiciary is last hope of the common man.
Yes.
So what is going on? Can it be the
I would like your response to that. That assertion.
Can it be the hope now?
That assertion that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, and the common man feels that Nigeria happens to him when his rights are trampled upon. You can see that the law is now for the poor. Even the last CJ and Ariwola, he said it. That the law is not for the rich. The man said it. So what other evidence are you looking for to validate what Odili said? All right. Well, we'll... What are the evidence? The CJ spoke himself. I mean, the man is sitting at the helm of affairs of the judiciary. Well, we do understand that this case is in court right now, so we'll just trample... That's what I'm saying. We are not making reference. Not that we are... In fact, it has not even... The trial has not started. But we are looking at what Odili said, that he had won round 1. Yes, because somebody said that they should debar him from... in fact, how can you do that? As an individual, you now decide who will practice and who not. It's not for you to do that. It is the disciplinary committee that will say, look, this man, you have violated our tenets. Not you, because you have an issue with him.
Can you tell us, briefly what someone who is a lawyer can do?
Before Barrister responds to that question, before he responds to that question, let's quickly run to Edo outstation where Comrade Roy is standing by. Comrade Roy Oriabo, good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation. Now, initially, you were saying
thank you for having me.
I couldn't hear what you were saying, but I do believe that the audio has been fixed. So now, first off, do you consider the bill that was perfected by Dele Farotimi as a win on his part against Nigeria? And in that video that I'm sure that you have seen, he kept saying the words, Nigeria did not happen to him. How do you relate to that statement? This is 2 in 1, really. Go ahead, comrade.
Hey, as a human being, I
Badele, I'm really bothered. Because when I take a critical look at the book, by way of summary, I found out that those without weighty allegations he had there,
do you
have who is not going to court.
Do you have the book?
I said with what he had, what he documented books. Yes, I've been opportune to look at the book online. You know, therefore I am scared. A system where those who he alleged and those who are trying, they are now in the ministry of you cannot be a judge in your own case. But these are the persons who are not the judge in their own case. I don't know how he's going to escape it. I am talking as a Nigerian based on the reality available as of today. That this is a case that is not going to be easy. Don't be surprised after this video we just watched. They will still come out to say, based on the bail that you were granted, you were not supposed to grant any interview. We don't know how they will take that again. It is too early. It is too early for Dele to celebrate. Because those we are fighting, those you have alleged, these are senior, not just senior judiciary officers, these are persons over the years who have been there. I don't know how you will tell for me. The Barrister Dality was quoting from the UK. That is nice. Is it applicable in Nigeria? The answer is no. The records are there. All the former CJ, they are living. They will cry to heaven that Nigeria judicial system was. Even those that are coming, they will make a pronouncement that we are going to reform the judicial. The day we keep on moving from bad to worse. That is my fear about Dele. Dele should have him. I will be very, very technical, and I will also be very critical about this matter. This is too early, and he is being inundated by hollow matrix of hasty conclusion to come up and start telling Nigerians that Nigeria have not happened to him. It's too early, because personally, it's a man take very serious. In our obedience struggle, I was very close to him. I am scared about this matter, because those who have alleged that I will continue to obey are those who are trying. When a man is not a judge in his own matter, how do you escape it? That is my fear, and I don't know how you tend to escape it. I'm very careful, because those said who are there.
Okay,
the Nigerian system
thank you very much for your very quick take. Now, I'm happy that you have read the book. In the said book, Dele made allegations, that touched on Supreme Court justices. He also said something about how a certain political judgment, was procured for a governor somewhere in northeast Nigeria, where Emmanuel Chambers was used, as an SPV, special purpose vehicle, to tidy that transaction. Now, last week, we had the ICPC, Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, Nigerian-owned government anti-corruption agency. They released what they call their 2024 Ethics and Integrity Compliance Scorecard. And in that scorecard, they mentioned that the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the Hajj Commission of Nigeria, and several other federal agencies have been flagged as high corruption risk MDAs. I'll take that again for emphasis. Have been flagged as high corruption risk MDAs. Supreme Court of Nigeria, Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Now, this thing coming from ICPC, doesn't it vindicate Dele Farotimi when he made assertions that Supreme Court justices are corrupt?
Not vindicate him, because the ICPC will not be coming to court to defend their position. That is my fear. They release it as you are sitting down there, Mr. Okoro. You will agree with me that we are a corrupt nation. There was a time the former UK Prime Minister said that Nigeria, we are fantastic. He said we are fantastically corrupt. These are the issues. In anywhere you go to, we know that we are a corrupt nation, and most persons in Nigeria believe that we are a corrupt nation. And an agency he came out to release a report. Does not, it will not be able, they will not go to court to come and defend them, because the power that be will not allow them. Let's wait in another weeks what will happen to the leadership of ICPC before we start celebrating them. In a society where you deliberately want to undermine the system and you tell people to go to court, you already know that the court is as weak as that of Waterleaf. What can they do? It's a main pronouncement that does not have any bite on anything. Therefore, Dele not supposed to rely
Odili Farotimi, even when he has come up to, jubilate or appreciate Nigerians for speaking behind or putting their voice behind his. Is that what your fear is, or is that what you're saying?
Early is to to come on, because if you record the bail condition, the magistrate said you is not permitted to grant any interview as at this material time. And that is my fear. Dele is a person I admire so much. In our obedient movement, I was very, and I know some of this as a Nigerian. Go and check your history in Nigeria, how judiciary over the years they have managed a position like this. And not for him to be debarred. Those who made that attempt, they will not go home and be sleepy. They will invest on it. They are looking at the loophole, and that's the reason why yours is very bothered. That Dele was in a hurry. He was in a hurry. I don't know who is advising him, but I'm going to reach out to him to tell him not to make any statement for now. You have to be very calculated.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, Comrade Roy, I want to ask you, talking about the bail conditions, Dele didn't grant an interview. He just made a video on his X handle. Doing that, is it against one of the bail conditions? I mean, is he not supposed to talk on WhatsApp, Facebook, X, Instagram, or what? He didn't grant an interview, he just made a video to thank Nigerians.
I'm talking to you as a Nigerian, based on what have happened over the years in Nigeria. We know how Nigerian judiciary, how they operate. We know how our lawyers, how they operate. That is my view. They might know this might not be an interview, but you hear in another 24 to
studio now. Barrister Darlington, you were shaking your head.
You seem to have a lot to say.
He's here to answer. He's here to tell us, what is that one would do for the person to be debarred.
But Barrister, before you react, there is a question I want to add to your reaction. If in the process of this legal action and in the process of this case, is it possible that Dele cites the ICPC report? And will it be admissible as evidence in court?
Even the CJN validity speech, he can bring it to the court. These are valid evidence of the corruption in the judiciary.
Barrister, while Comrade Roy was speaking, you seem to disagree with a lot of things. Go ahead, let's have your thoughts now.
I didn't believe that somebody will support what is going on.
What do you mean support?
Yeah, because he's saying the power that be, this and that.
No, he's laying his own thoughts. That certain powers that be tend to influence justice.
Those powers? As a lawyer, these are the powers you're supposed to challenge so that you clean up the society. That is what you are trying to do. How can you be celebrating such a thing?
No, he's not a lawyer. You are a lawyer, so you tell us.
Because I have somebody.
He's a comrade. He's not a lawyer.
I can forgive him. Okay. You are not expected to even support them in one.
No, I didn't hear him support.
No,
maybe you heard that. What he said,
when he said the power that be, they will come against.
What he said, he will not. What I heard him say was that Dele seems to be too forward in talking about how Nigeria did not happen to him. He seemed to be too forward, too early in jubilating.
There is something he said about UK. He said I am wrong or something.
No, yes, you said something about.
Yes, but that it can't happen in Nigeria. He said he agreed with you with what happened to Boris. Good. He said that same thing cannot happen here in Nigeria.
Good. Then, what are we doing? Moses, what are we doing then? When you have all this and somebody saying, let us correct this thing, that's why he wrote that book. And you are all ganging up against him. People are speaking from 3 mouths at a time. Look at the book. Look at the message. Whether they like it or not, that book will not die. Posterity will come and read that book. Somebody will come in the judiciary that say, look, this book, it should be taught in our university. Undergraduate law students should read that book. That is the only way to clean the system, not by covering it. And now somebody said that the ICP cannot come to court to defend them. Take them to court first. Take ICP they have released a report. Is that not true? Yes. Somebody should take them to court. The same way they are taking the Dele. The man at WikiLeaks, listen very well though. The man at WikiLeaks who told us how he even helped to carry money from the same chambers to go and procure a judgment. You people do not hear that one, Abi. I was thinking they should equally sue WikiLeaks along with Dele. These are facts on the ground. Let them try WikiLeaks and see whether more skeleton will not come out of their cupboard. It's not enough to just single Dele as a scapegoat. Maybe he's a political orphan. He doesn't have a big brother in politics. Somebody who can drop a word or two on his behalf. It doesn't matter. If the people are with you, it is okay for you. After all, the Bible said that many are called, but few are choosing.
Now, Barrister, that you've pointed out all these things, all the indices just made mention of here. Now, what do you think will be the fate of this young man, Dele Farotimi, during the course of the trial?
What will be his fate? The fate is that he's going to get victim.
But we're not preempting the cost now.
No, because you asked me what will be the fate. The fate is that
let's not preempt.
No, hold on. I said from the fact and what he's telling us. From what he's telling us, are you telling me that Dele is going to be sent to jail? Is that what you want me to say here? He's going to court. And based on the evidence he had, yes. If not, listen very well, though. When this matter started, did you even remember the origin of this matter? If those people that are harassing him, if they have a point, should they have gone through that route? A civil matter. You wanted to convert it into a criminal matter so that you can make it a heavier sentence. You have forgotten that fact.
Barrister, did they want to or that they actually converted?
No, let us say they want to, because the matter have not been ruled. Okay. They want to. Yes, they want to. That's where they are going. Handcuff him like a criminal and armed robber.
There's many people fear for Dele's life, especially lawyers that are grounded in the principles of law.
That what?
Many people fear for him.
In what way?
Yes, that he might end up, that the unthinkable might happen to him.
Let it happen first, then heaven will judge. Okay. Mr. Okoro, maybe I should tell you a story. You remember Dele Giwa?
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm. A very vibrant journalist, one of our brightest. You know how he died? Good. Please, those people that killed him and sent the letter bomb to him, is their life better now? Are they enjoying life? Please answer me.
But at least they are still alive.
Well, Mr. Okoro, there are certain life you live.
Okay.
You even regret being alive because of what is going on around you. I'm not joking. If you are living and you are almost a vegetable and all that, what is the essence of that life? Because, look, God has a way of rewarding every one of us. Let me tell you what happened. Somebody delivered that bomb to Dele Giwa. Maybe I'm saying this for the first time here. When Mama Vasa was to be killed because of a coup against Babangida, something happened. You know, Mama Vasa was a very, is a poet, a very intelligent man. People pleaded, including his people in the literary world. They went to Babangida to free him because of his contribution and all that. But they remained adamant. So when Vasa realized that he'll actually die, something happened. Vasa started releasing reports of how Dele Giwa was killed, the person that delivered the bomb and all that. It was published in the Sun newspaper. I have all the copies. This man, what's it called? Osaho Onaiwo. He was the one that wrote it in the Sun. I said I have copies. I'm not telling you stories. Vasa was telling us everything that happened because he was going. Apparently, this secret is one of the reasons why they had to make him go. But they didn't know they had released it to the public already. Everything that transpired. Now listen very well. In that 1986, the Minister of Defense and Dom Kadbali, they interviewed him. He said he wasn't too sure that they were right in killing Mama Vasa because the evidence against him was too weak. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. That the evidence against him was too weak. So we decided that Vasa must die at all costs. And for what reason? And you think such destruction of life, God will allow you to go like that? No. When the time comes, every one of us will pay for what we did. Either here or in the hereafter. It's not, you and I cannot even change it. It's not possible. We can't change it.
All right then.
So when you are telling me whether there is something, it doesn't matter.
Well, some people are of the opinion that it wasn't the letter bomb that killed him anyway.
Yeah.
That's the opinion of some people because his hands were intact. I mean, if you open a letter bomb, there's the ideology that it will blow up your hands first of all.
Do you know?
But anyway, we'll come back and get your concluding thoughts, Barrister.
He was with Soyinka. Do you know who opened the letter bomb? Do you know?
No, I don't.
So what are you telling me?
Anyway, we'll come back to your concluding thoughts.
Did you see his body?
We'll come back to your concluding thoughts.
Thank God it is not in the day of social media.
Barrister.
You can see the body.
Now let's go back to Edo Station, outstation now. Let's get concluding thoughts from Comrade Roy. Comrade Roy, give us your concluding thoughts as we are running out of time.
I think it's also good for me to tell by Odili that my position is very direct. I am talking as a Nigerian based on what I've happened over the year. We were even told that at a point that the magistrate need to work out to go and receive call. That was what we read. That is my position, that as the Nigeria is today, the ability for him to fight this fight is not going to be easy. It's going to be a Herculean task. We must tell him the truth so that he should prepare for it. Those who he have alleged, those who are not presiding the judiciary, are those who are there. A situation, he's a lawyer, he knows better. When the answer that said that you cannot be a judge in your own case. When you are a judge in your own case, what happened? That is my concern about the issue. Not that I'm supporting the system. I will never support the Nigerian system because the Nigerian system is not working as far as I'm concerned. Some of us were on the street the day Dele was arrested. Go and check record. We were on the street. Why will he be arrested? And as I was a member of that person's comrade who came out that day to say, reject his arrest. Therefore, I will continue to maintain it. The way Nigeria is structured today is going to be very hard for Dele to get justice in a system like this.
Thank you very much, Comrade Roy. You're absolutely out of time there. But we'll consider that your concluding thoughts on the show. And we do hope that you might have to stay with us for newspaper review. We'll work that one out. Barrister, you have about 30 seconds for your concluding thoughts. 30 seconds, Barrister.
No Nigerian should talk and reason like my friend who is talking, Roy. You must stand for what is it. Don't tell me that the way Nigeria is structured, Jele will not get. What kind of talk is that? That means you are validating what is going on. So at what point is it going to? Are you going to get it right? All of us should queue up for what is good and not what is bad. Don't continue to say the way Nigeria is structured. When are we going to make it right then? If we continue that this infamy should continue like that, you cannot get justice in our court. So at what point are we going to say, no, we want this thing to be right for once? At what point?
Barrister,
please, that talk should not come in.
Let's consider this.
If you are truly Nigerian, please support what is right and not what is wrong.
All right then. Thank you very much, Barrister Darlington Akumwo. Thanks for coming on the program. We'll also say a very big thank you to Comrade Roy Oriabo for joining us from our Benin outstation. Thank you very much for joining the conversation as well. Well, that's it on the show today. Join us again at 9 o'clock, newspaper review. Chukuma and I will be here to take you through the dailies. I am Moses Humphrey.
And I'm Fina Okechukwu. Enjoy the rest of your day as we hope and look forward that 2025 will bring us good tidings.
Oh, well, they said that no nation can ever change whatever it condones. I also know that history has a long arc, and it naturally bends towards justice.
Exactly.
I am Chukwuma Okoro. Bye for now.